Good evening, everyone. I'm Kubrali, and you're watching Awaz News. Tonight, I'll be taking you to top news across Canada.
Child dead after overnight fire in camping trailer in Mississauga's off the Credit First Nation. Mississauga man under multiple driving prohibitions pulled over twice in 4 days, police say. Man fatally stabbed, another man shot and injured 2 officers in London, Ontario standoff, police. Ontario municipalities feel impacts of housing law worry over little audit progress. Drake, 21 Savage are going on tour together, but Toronto details to be announced. Things to do with the kids around the GTA this March break.
These were the headlines, and now let's go through the details.
A child is dead after an overnight fire at a camping trailer in Mississauga's of the Credit First Nation. Emergency crews were first called to Mississauga Road address shortly before 2 a.m. The reserve is located about 25 kilometers southeast of Brantford. Ontario Provincial Police say that crews encountered a fully engulfed camping trailer upon arrival. Firefighters were able to extinguish the fire, but a young child was later located inside and pronounced deceased, OPP say. 6 other people, including 2 adults and 4 children, were able to escape the blaze and sustained only minor injuries. I want to put out my sincere and deepest condolences to everyone that has been affected by this tragedy, to family members, to friends, to the victims involved in this incident, and to the community for their loss. You are in our thoughts and prayers as we deal with tragedy, OPP Constable Ed Sanchuk said in a video message posted to Twitter. A cause of the fire has not been determined. The Office of the Ontario Fire Marshal is investigating, along with the Haldimand County OPP Crime Unit. March break is here for thousands of students in the Greater Toronto area, and there is a slew of offerings on hand across the GTA to help answer the question, what did we do? This is the first March break in 3 years with no lockdown restrictions at all, and there is plenty going on around the city for those looking to make up for the lost time. With throngs of people coming into the GTA for activities and events, Destination Toronto says it might be worth planning in advance and taking advantage of deals and packages. There are a lot of people that are coming into the city now for March break. Kathy Martin, Senior Communications Manager of Destination Toronto, told Awaz News. There is so much to see and do happening all around the city. You know, there's a quite few hotels that are offering March break packages that can be booked, lots of options. She added that after years of lockdowns and restrictions, it's great to see the vibrancy back in our city again. It is so needed, she said. If you are scratching your head for things to do, here's just an example of activities. The City of Toronto has a full list of 3 exhibits and events at cultural spots around the city. Kids can play history detective at Fort York National Historic Site or take a free yoga workshop at Scarborough Museum. City pools will offer free leisure swimming during March break. If your kids love animals, you can check some out at High Park or Riverside Farm. Local Toronto Public Library branches have programs, workshops, books, and more for kids and teens throughout the week. Malls, parks, and movie theaters will also be open throughout the week, including Toronto Island Park. Many of the city's usual landmarks have events happening throughout the week as well. Ripley's Aquarium will have extended hours for March break, opening from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Nearby, the CN Tower is open from March 13 to 17 from 9:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily and is offering activities designed by the Ontario Society of Professional Engineers from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. as part of March break admission. If just a little Lego is not enough, Legoland Discovery Centre in Vaughan boasts millions of Lego bricks under one roof. The Ontario Science Centre will also open daily from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. from 11th of March to 19th. People are advised to take transit if possible as parking is limited and plan to ahead using their online schedule and planner. The Royal Ontario Museum will have a variety of March break activities, including live performances. The Art Gallery of Ontario has a variety of March break activities on as well, including art making, family-friendly tours of Agor collection, a drop-in film screening, and Jackman. Toronto Comic Con is back March 17 to 19 at the Metro Toronto Convention Centre and promises spectacular 3-day sci-fi, horror, and gaming event. Disney fans might want to check out the Disney immersive experience at Lighthouse Art Space. Those with a sweet tooth might appreciate some of the maple syrup attractions around town and farther afield. If you don't mind a bit of a drive, you can check out maple syrup season at Westfield Heritage Village in Rockton about an hour west of the city. Online reservations are advised. You can check out the Ontario's government March Break page for a list of activities in the GTA and around Ontario, as well as the city's website to see more March Break activities on around the town. It has been more than 3 months since Ontario promised to make municipalities whole on a loss of development charge revenue due to a new provincial law, and they say they are concerned they have seen little to no movement. One large city says it is already feeling the impacts of the law financially, another is delaying a housing-related project due to the uncertainty, and municipalities across the province are passing budgets on the assumptions they will be made whole with a dollar-for-dollar replacement. Municipalities have been sounding the alarm for months about a housing law that in part freezes, reduces, exempts fees developers pay on certain bills such as affordable housing. Municipal Affairs and Housing Minister Steve Clark has expressed some skepticism about the impacts, saying the municipalities hold billions in development charge reserves. In late November, he announced a third-party audit of select municipalities to get a factual understanding for their finances. But since then, a list of select municipalities has not been finalized. Auditors have not been appointed, and communities have received few updates, if any. Toronto has been in discussion with the province on the terms of reference for an audit, but that is only municipality to report progress so far. The Association of Municipalities of Ontario says there has been radio silence. Mississauga Mayor Bonnie Crombie, who is also the chair of the Ontario's Big City Mayors Group, said she's concerned the audits haven't started yet. She's also concerned that language in Clark's letter suggests the promise to make municipalities whole is contingent on them meeting housing targets set out by the province in the law. The letter says there should be no funding shortfall for housing enabling infrastructure as a result of the law. Crombie wonders what happens if Mississauga falls short because developers are hampered by labor shortages, supply chain issues, or financing challenges. Crombie said she has received signals from the government that it followed through and promised to compensate for development charge revenue loss, but in the meantime, the city is already feeling the law's impacts. In Waterloo, Ontario, Council voted to delay for at least 1 year $68 million reconstruction project for the infrastructure to support 800 new homes because of the uncertainty over how the city will pay for it. A spokesperson for Clark said the government will engage municipalities through the audit process. Development charges have been rising too quickly in some municipalities, putting home ownership out of reach for many Ontarians, she said. However, Crombie noted that there is nothing in the law that requires developers to pass those savings along. Drake has announced a North American Summer Tour, and while he will be performing in his hometown Toronto, it is the only stop on the tour that does not have a confirmed date or venue. In an Instagram post on Monday, the Toronto rapper announced he joined It's All a Blur tour with 21 Savage months after their collaborative studio album Her Loss dropped. The video posted with his announcement highlights moments throughout Drake's career as a musician, featuring various concerts, clips with his mother, Sandy Graham, and his 5-year-old son, Adonis. The 2023 tour kicks off in New Orleans, Louisiana, on June 16 and caps off in September 5th in Glendale, Arizona, and makes various stops throughout Canada and United States. Only 3 Canadian cities are part of the tour: the Bell Centre in Montreal on July 14, Rogers Arena in Vancouver on August 28, and Toronto, which is the only city currently not to have its tour date set. Details to be announced is all it says under Toronto. Tickets go on sale to general public on Friday. A committee of MPs is calling on the federal government to issue an overarching annual national security threat assessment. The House Committee on Public Safety says the various bodies that handle national security sometimes operate in silos and patchwork of reports come from different agencies. The MPs suggest someone should gather the recommendations and create an annual priority list. The committee wants the communications security establishment to better inform smaller businesses about how to prevent cyber attacks and provide tax breaks for companies to better protect their data. The report proposes the government work with internet service providers and social media platforms to counteract online bots that are amplifying state-sponsored disinformation. The committee is also calling for more transparency on Russian disinformation, a review of procurement policies, and to speed up the modernization of North America's airspace defense. Police say a man at the center of an armed standoff in London, Ontario is accused of fatally stabbing a man he knew before shooting and injuring 2 officers at an apartment building over the weekend. Police said the suspect didn't have a license to own a long gun recovered at an apartment unit while the standoff took place. Acting Police Chief Trish McIntyre says one of the officers who was shot remains in hospital with serious but not life-threatening injuries, while the other has been released. She says police was responded to a call about an unresponsive man around 5 a.m. Saturday and found a man with multiple stab wounds who was pronounced dead a short time later. She says the 2 officers who were injured were wounded by 1 shot fired by the suspect. Police have charged a 42-year-old man with second-degree murder in the stabbing death and with 2 counts of attempted murder in shooting of the officers. McIntyre says the stabbing victim identified as 41-year-old Joel Cameron of London and the suspect in the case were known to each other.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kubra Ali. I'll see you back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Until then, good night.